Hello world! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, you know what? My glass is empty.
Yeah, well, not for long. We've got a few things on the table here.
But we're live, and we're going to drink some bourbon.
And a little bit of American single malt
And an
here.
Irish flavored something that someone recommended.
Yeah, it's just weirdness all the way around. JT is in the house already. He says he has arrived. Bourbon School is here. Non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang is here. Chris Jenkins is here. What's happening, everybody?
Everybody.
Good to see you guys all. Got some more folks popping up in the viewership count there, so that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, haven't been live in a couple weeks here.
It's been a while. That's weird.
Well, actually, we just missed the one, but so that means it's been 2 weeks since our last
Is that
live.
how counting works?
Yeah, actually it is. So we missed one, but it feels like it's been longer. Bigger Drinks is here. What's happening?
Hey.
Go like, comment, and subscribe to
there.
Bourbon School and Baker Drinks.
Peter White.
Peter White, what's happening?
There's not going to be a time I don't read his name when I think of Peter Rabbit.
Yeah.
Just every single time.
Beth Higgins, is that, I don't know if we've had Beth Higgins in the chat yet.
Beth Higgins.
Well, that's awesome. Welcome, Beth. Cheers all. Cheers to you.
So, we need to know, Beth, are you from Sacramento?
We just need to know.
One of these days,
What are you talking about, man?
someone's going to say yes, and it'll be hilarious. It'll be like the funniest thing for 12 seconds.
At some point, people are going to catch on and everyone's just going to start saying yes.
But they're new people. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Peter White, what are you talking about? So anyway, we got obviously a couple of bottles of Peerless Double Oak, and I think we can probably use these to wash away any other things that might not be as good. Actually, I've had the Shanky's Whip. You guys have probably heard of that. That's like a Irish kind of flavored whiskey that's all the rage right now.
Frank, yeah. Thanks for making time for us, Ryan.
Beth is from Illinois.
Illinois. Wow.
But we do have, I picked this up. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the brand. Is it Corsair or Corsair, or I don't know how you pronounce that.
Corsair.
Corsair.
It's the name of an airplane.
It is, okay. But this is a brand that has a bunch of really seemingly interesting, well, certainly weird and unique
Is it
expressions.
the same company that does the old-fashioned in the can? It's like the same exact can. It's just old-fashioned.
I think they have one of those. They've got some pre-mixed cocktails. They
Never
also
had one.
have like a whiskey called Grainiac. I think it's actually a bourbon. It's like a 9 grain.
Okay.
And so they're doing all kinds of weird stuff. And they're actually selling instead of mini bottles, they've got mini cans. So this is like a 3-ounce, 3.38 ounce aluminum can of American single malt, and it says it's cherry, beechwood, and peat smoked barley. So this should be interesting.
And Laura, the only reason we're here is to serve and as an opportunity for you to
Yes, I love that.
justify a Wednesday afternoon pour.
That's awesome. Yeah, I suppose it is. It's only 4 o'clock where she is. So
Well, you just spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert, she's in the Pacific time zone. So should we get into this here?
Yeah, let's
I think it'd
start
be
there.
fun to do this on the live because I don't know if
It could be great. It
we'll
could be awesome, just like this episode.
Yeah, we'll find out if this actually warrants an entire review.
Sure. Yeah.
And I can go get another one.
Yeah.
So weird to be opening an aluminum can and pouring whiskey
So we have
out
two
of it.
people from Illinois that are talking and chatting each other up.
They're conspiring.
It's a little bit awkward. Last time I was in Illinois, I left. Oh, come on, that was funny.
Well, I know. I'm sorry, I missed it. I was. engulfed in the whiskey. What did you say?
I said the last time I was in Illinois, I left.
Yeah, I mean,
We all did.
yeah, I suppose we did. I have a dram in a can Irish.
Wow.
Interesting. So this has got a weird. It's almost you
I'm
get
getting
some
like
peaty
sour
vibes.
apple.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like a green apple,
Yeah,
like the
the
green
green
Jolly
apple,
Rancher,
like,
almost sweetness and
but maybe not super aggressive, but yeah, a little bit of there.
yeah, like a sour apple Jolly Rancher.
Yeah, there you go.
Like candy. Sugar Kitty's in the house. Yeah, this is very interesting on the nose. It does have some of those medicinal qualities you get out of a peated scotch. I'm
It's
getting
got
a little bit of that.
Like I'm getting a little bit of a cherry, kind of like cough syrup.
Well,
not in a
it's-
bad way. Like I'm not trying to insult it. It's just a little hint of.
It's cherry, beechwood, and
Oh.
peat smoked barley.
Okay, then it was intended to be that way.
Yeah, interesting. All right, let's get into the palate here and see what happens. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
They forgot to put the flavor in.
Really? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's like I got like a little bit of a smoke note,
It's definitely thin.
and then I got a little bit more of a smoke note, and then maybe a touch of smoke note, and then yeah, it's like it.
I gotta have another sip of this because I think I might really like this actually.
So the smoke note, which have I mentioned? I'm getting that. It's pretty nice actually.
It's thin. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's very thin. Like there's not a lot to it.
I don't get anything bad off of it.
Do you know what's interesting about this?
Not
Is-
very much.
I'll tell you what is.
Okay.
What I'm looking for out of a peated scotch is really the smoke note because I do enjoy that. But in my experience, a lot of times it gets buried under that medicinal,
The medicinal,
Band-Aid.
yeah.
And I know that they don't all have that quite as much as Lefroy does, but even on the ones we've had.
Thank you,
JT, yes, there is.
Thank you for catching on.
But a lot of times the smoke note kind of gets buried, and I want that just smoky note.
Just as a side note, it's not as good of a YouTube channel as the Bourbon Note.
Right, yeah. There might be
just
a
saying.
channel called The Smoke Note.
And there probably is, and I've never seen it. And probably never will.
But I'm actually really liking this. I wish it was maybe even like 90 proof, just because it's a little thin.
Even 81. Even 81. It needs
Yeah.
something.
I'm into it. I'm gonna go out and say I like this.
I like
And
it.
They're actually mashed, distilled, and bottled by them. It's their own thing in Nashville, Tennessee. So it's their own.
We know that's a
distillate.
lie because it's not
We
bottled
love you
at
too,
all.
Ryan Frank.
It's canned. Although legally they probably have to call it bottled.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: they sell this in a bottle.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because these are just like their
sure,
samplers.
okay.
This, I will tell you what, this is actually making me want to explore this brand.
Oh, I
For
totally
sure.
agree. Like, I kind of like it. It's actually kind of good. It's not great. It needs a little bit more kick. Like, I'm not getting a ton of flavor because it's, I don't know, maybe it's just one of those days when I'm...
Well, again, it is 80 proof.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that. Peter White says that the smoke note would be a cannabis channel.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Well, that's why I said I've never seen it and I probably never will. So, and I left it alone, but...
So Sugar Kitty says try Highland Peat instead of Isla Peat, and also Kilchoman, Kilchoman, however you pronounce these Scottish words.
You had it the third time.
If you don't want medicinal. Okay, sweet. I'm going to have to go back and watch this so I can reference that. But I'm actually very impressed with this. To be honest, I wasn't expecting much. And I really like this just as much as a lot of the scotches we've had.
Fair enough. It's not horrible. It's better than that. It's fine. It's good. It's okay. I promise I haven't had a pour yet until now, but...
He'll just keep talking, and eventually he'll be like, it'll be his favorite. Kilchoman, okay.
Killoman.
It says, hey, I'm in Canada, weed's legal. It's legal here now, too. Not in the U.S., but in Minnesota. Kilchoman, okay, yeah, everybody's got the... Okay, so I didn't get any of that pronunciation correct at all.
I said the third time it was a joke. You
So-
didn't get that joke, though.
Here's where we get to the... we're going to have to make a decision at some point here. And we we do have a long night of live streaming ahead of us.
Okay.
And we've got plenty of stuff. Do we just start drinking weird flavored stuff for a while?
Well, I mean, until it no longer works for us, I say we...
Because we do have the Shanky's Whip, but we also have some weird coffee flavored whiskey, and we've got this called S'moregasm.
I think that one will be super sweet.
Praying to God is a s'mores related thing. And then we can get into some actual bourbons, but we've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do we drink the weird stuff? I also have some Devil's River, which is Texas, which is obviously going to be garbage. 45%.
All bottom shelf for the entire stream.
Well,
see, it's funny you should
Brian-
say that because this is not price-wise bottom shelf, but it wasn't our favorite single barrel. My wife was
that's
in
right.
Louisville.
That was the weird one.
And it had just a little bit, it's harsh.
It had kind of a beer note to it, actually, like a malty beer
Right.
note.
Now, the double oak is amazing. This is really like a unicorn. It's really good. But this one was a little bit off normal profile for Peerless, which we tend to like.
Yeah, but the double oak, there's not a chance I'm not drinking some of that.
Oh, yeah,
tonight.
I'm
There's
definitely
just
going to wrap
no
up the
way.
night with, yeah.
Sugar Case said we're going to ruin Pierce. No, we do have waters to clear the palate.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to get rid of all the weird stuff. Because here's the thing. You have the Peerless, right? Once you have the first sip, it might be a little bit off. But the 109 proof is going to wipe away that other stuff pretty quick. I'm fairly confident. Laura
Devil's
says
River-
Devil's River is a terrible name. Is that just because you genuinely don't like the name, or is there like a double entendre there? or
Yeah, I don't
something
know
like
that as anything other than, it's not a great name for a river, but
No.
she lives, well, I don't want to say where she lives, close to. She lives close to
Hey,
a river.
Steven is in the house. What's happening, Steven?
Cheers, shenanigan.
Steven, have you ever had, or have any of you actually, because nobody's said yet, this is Corsair Triple Smoke American Single Malt in an aluminum can. It's cherry, beechwood, and peat smoked barley, and it's actually pretty good for 80
It's not
proof.
the worst thing I've had out of a can.
Boy, yeah, you're gonna... That could have gone so wrong if you had just...
I was actually thinking about Coors Light as I said that, and so...
You're just completely missing where I... Never mind.
no, just
Let it go. We should have
That's what
probably
she said.
dropped one of those in there. Well,
That's what she said.
all right, let me just finish up this American single malt here, and then we're going to get to some weird stuff before we just hang out and eventually start talking about junk food. And
we actually also have, from previous live streams, we have some samples over there, so if we're not in the mood for Peerless, there are other things, including some like actual unicorn type bottles.
we still have some of the leftovers that Steven sent us from...
So that's from Baker Drinks. And then we have some, I think, from, is that Dave is one with the little dot? No, that may be...
No, those are the
Sean.
leftovers from Steven because I wanted to
Oh,
share
Steven.
those. I was going to have Sean try some of those. and
Okay.
I just haven't gotten around to it yet. That's why I haven't drank those yet.
Yeah.
Only ever had a single thing out of Corsair, and I vowed never again in my life it was some oat whiskey. Interesting. I've never had an oat whiskey.
So
Wolfie is here.
I've heard good things about oat whiskey, and maybe there's not a lot of them out there, but I want to try one. Can't be worse than sheep dung.
I actually did bring that over to Sean's the other night. I didn't tell him what it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't...
It's not bad as far as he's not into a peated single malt to begin with. So it was fun to. All right, which one are we doing first? Let's try the Shanky's Whip because I think that one's probably the best out of all these.
Oh, you want to start there? Okay. I'm going to do a small pour of each one of them. Dan is in the house.
What's up, Aiden? Just popping in and saying, hi, I've got a fever and a double ear infection. Oh, that's stuck.
So Aiden, I feel like this is an Aiden type episode though. Like we're doing all these weird, like flavored little ones.
Has Aiden expressed interest in flavored whiskey?
yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I think it'd be up his alley. I feel like
Aiden is a
personality type that would have an opinion about a lot of these little flavored whiskey, small bottles.
yeah.
I think so.
He's also a bourbon connoisseur.
Well, yeah. I mean, he knows
And
a ton about
savant.
bourbon.
I would say. Boy, this stuff is dark.
Holy molasses and
Yeah, it's
vanilla.
got a... So what the hell is this, actually? Try on the rocks as an ice-cold shot or with your favorite... So this is not meant to be drank neat at all.
Oh.
It says black, smooth Irish, yada, yada. It doesn't really say. But apparently it's good in coffee. So if you're a morning drinker... If you had the Corsair I did, you would be begging for sheep tongue whiskey. The barbecue whiskey curveball is really good. We were just talking about
we
that.
just talked about that. It's not bad.
Hey, we have the Kentucky coffee right here, actually. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, hey, cheers, Aiden. Hope you feel better, man. That sucks.
Feel better. Try some bourbon. It helps.
Yeah, actually, it does. That does smell really good.
It smells really good. It's very rich and like desserty.
Yeah, very
Like-
desserty.
Like if I were to do a large pour, I'm 100% confident I could not finish it.
I think maybe on the rocks,
maybe it would
could.
help, yeah.
Because I think the melting ice would maybe cut down on some of the richness.
A little bit of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. Actually, mix this in with a little milkshake or something. I bet you that'd be baller as hell. OG Brick is here sipping on some Redbreast 12 year. That's awesome. I'm going to try it. Cheers. Oh, that's delicious.
So I don't know if Brad, who I met the other day at Cashwise, is here. He's the one that recommended this. It's really good, but it really tastes like vanilla flavored something.
It does, yeah. It's basically vanilla whiskey. What's the proof on this?
It's got to be 80.
I'm thinking it's probably even less than that because I don't think it has to
It
be.
could be
Because some of these
60?
are down in the 70s.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's 70. I can't. 33, so this is 66 proof. 33%.
Okay.
So,
It's really nice. It's got really a good flavor. But yeah, I think vanilla ice cream. Like I think this would work well there.
yeah, I think it would too.
I don't.
But I'm really picturing this just over ice would be really good, actually. So did you buy a big bottle of this
Nope,
as well,
just
or
that.
just this?
Yeah,
Okay.
just that. But now that I know, I don't know if I would drink this every day. Like it's a special use type thing.
You don't reach for this when you're in the mood for a whiskey. You reach for this when you're in the mood for like same type of
Dessert.
time. Like I like a Bailey's on the rocks, for example, is
there you
really
go.
good sometimes. Brian says we did a 30-second review of the barbecue whiskey and just wish we could forget. Followed everything we drank for the rest. Yeah, that one's going to be hard to clear the palate on.
Yeah, we don't expect to actually be able to do a quality review after any of these.
Yeah, maybe
Definitely
Sugar
not this
Kitty's
one.
onto something here that we're going to destroy the double oak. Well, we'll drink this one first, or if nothing else, I do have some Elijah Craig small batch to clear the palate. So we've got options. But yeah, this is really good actually. I only had a small sip of this before.
In worst case scenario, we send Ben downstairs to the basement and find I don't know, Early Times or one of the other like your kind of like everyday just get rid of it kind of pours.
That we could do what? Send me down there.
If
to
we
get
if we needed a bourbon that we didn't want to.
I think the Elijah
Yeah,
Craig
I think
small
that'll be
batch
fine.
would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm looking forward. I might actually buy a bottle of this or a couple of minis just to try this over ice because I think that would be really
I
good.
think
'Cause I'm
it-
actually really just enjoying it on its own
I totally agree.
room temperature. Brian, when we did a live stream quite a while ago. We did the Curveball barbecue whiskey. It's not meant to be drink neat, obviously, but we did try some of the cocktails that they recommended on their website, and they were actually pretty good. Yeah, they have like a barbecue old fashioned, which is like I think there was like Worcestershire sauce in it and something.
Yep.
It was different, but it was actually really good. And then a barbecue whiskey Bloody Mary, and that was actually really good. I drank a few of those.
I think Ben liked them more than I.
Yeah, you didn't like that one as much because I don't think you finished yours. But I over the next couple of days, and I don't even like Bloody Marys for the most part. Sugar Kitty is not with our plan here to clear the palate of all this. Here's what we'll do. Since we know the Devil's River bourbon is going to be absolute hot garbage because it's from Texas, and spoiler alert, I've had it before. It sucks.
Okay.
I don't think it really warrants a review. I don't know, you know.
If you want to kill the bottle.
But we can drink the flavored stuff and then suffer through this to clear that palate a little bit. And then, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we're drinking weird stuff because that's, that's what kind of live stream this is going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
I also have some squid flavored potato chips we could bust out.
Unfortunately,
True story.
Unfortunately, I'm busy tonight and I can't make the live stream. What's up, Bobby?
Yo, Bobby, what's happening?
Whoa, yeah.
Bobby, congratulations. I saw your Patreon post that the Joseph, for those of you in the chat that don't know, Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend, the next batch,
We know the
is
number?
going to be named after Bad Axe Bourbon.
It's the Bad Axe blend.
It's a Bad Axe Bourbon, yeah, and it's going to be, I said something kind of like a tribute to firefighters and
totally.
first responders. So, Bobby, congratulations. That's amazing, and that's freaking awesome. So I hope we get to try that one. I'll have to put some feelers out and see if we can maybe get a bottle lined up somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if we can find one.
And if you haven't subscribed to Bad
Do you
Axe...
know Lloyd? I don't know Lloyd.
Not yet, but I'll get there. If you haven't subscribed to Bad Axe Bourbon yet, for some odd reason... Go do yourself a favor, subscribe. Get in on the ground level. This man's going to be famous, people.
He's already famous.
Yeah, he already is famous. So, all right, Lloyd. Where? Oh, I scrolled
Up a
past.
little bit.
Hang on.
Right
There we go. Lloyd Smith, I believe new to the chat. Hello, Lloyd. Thank you for joining us. Says, next month is my 60th birthday. For my birthday, I want a special bottle. What would you recommend for about $500 or less? Something I could save it for a long time. Well, happy birthday, Lloyd, if we don't talk to you between now and then.
Have you thought about the Devil's River?
Get yourself a bottle of Shanky's Whip and just go off the rails. I will tell you. Well, first of all, Lloyd, what kind of whiskey do you like to drink? Do you like bourbon? Do you like rye? Do you like scotch? If you do like scotch, we're not the most well-versed in that, but there is a guy named Sugar Kitty in the chat who can definitely help with that. And when you save $500, are you looking secondary? Are you looking...
Yeah, there's so many great bottles for even under $100.
Yeah, you don't have to spend $500 for
Unless
for
you
a
really
good bottle.
want
So
to.
let us know in the comments, Lloyd, what kind of whiskey you're generally into. Maybe some of the...
But like some of the really good finished MGP products, I mean, obviously...
Yeah, there's some great ones
There's
coming
some
out.
great
Yeah.
stuff out there. I mean, you know, you just mentioned Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend. If you got one of the Bobby batches, which that's not a very complimentary way of saying it, but it sounds funny. The Bobby batch.
The Bobby badge.
But there's so many great options out there.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, Sugar Kitty says for $500, get a collection.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, so
like,
Lloyd likes bourbon. So Lloyd, maybe name us a couple, like 2 or 3 bourbons that you really like.
So what we tend to recommend, and I was just on a trip and I recommend this to somebody, go bottom shelf, because there's some great bourbon that's really bottom shelf. Mm-hmm. Like let's say the Evan Williams line.
Yep.
That allows you to try the same bourbon at different proof points, or at
To find out
different
what
ages.
proof point you're comfortable with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because higher proof may be not working for you, and you want to stay low proof,
Yep.
or you like older age stuff or younger age stuff. So once you know more and can dial in what you're looking for, then you can find, you know, that you're going to discover 6-year MGP, and that's a
OG
brand.
Brick says ancient age. So Lloyd likes bourbon. Okay. So give us some examples of bottles that you like, or maybe do you like high proof,
And
low
don't
proof?
feel bad if you think you're saying something that we think is bottom shelf, because we love a lot of really cheap bourbons and think they're better than a lot of top shelf stuff.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer to this. We got
Yeah.
24 people in the chat here who will hop in and give you some direction on that. But I don't think you need to spend $500.
No, like I would say, like Knob Creek 12-year, you know, it's pretty
Yeah,
inexpensive.
$60.
fairly
It's
easy
a
to
great
find.
bourbon. I would say right now, if I was going to spend $100 on a bottle, I would probably roll up to Spirits and get their.
A store pick.
They've got a store pick, an Old Elk weeded bourbon
Yep.
at cask strength.
Yep.
Okay, so here we go. Lloyd says Old Forester 120 Woodford Double Oak. Okay. Rare Breed Baker 7, definitely not a rye person. Okay.
Oh, this is
I mean, you're rattling off some really great bourbons there. So what's? I mean, if you want to get if you think like a premium bourbon that's available.
So I would say something for you to look for, and it's gonna be hard to find. You're gonna have to hunt. Is Old Forester single barrels. Now they're single barrels, and they're gonna be different. But I think in the past year, that's been the greatest find we've had. Honestly.
Single barrel proof. Those
Yeah.
are outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Boy, this is a tough question, because now whenever somebody asks me this on the spot, I just you know how you can draw a blank. Like if somebody asks you, okay, for $500, what's 2 plus 2?
Okay, so how about one at $70? Penelope Architect. It's kind of a double oak style where they had different types of wood. Mm-hmm. And who knows if Penelope is available where you're at. You know, and another question we need to know is, are you from Sacramento?
There's Tree Wolf 21. That's a new name in the chat. Welcome. Old Forester birthday bourbon. I don't think you're going to get that for $500.
No. I no idea. I've never actually seen one in person. and I don't know if I'd pay,
So Lloyd, actually, if you're into the double oaks, maybe try a Peerless double oak, because they're not the easiest to find, but they are available. And I don't know where you're from, Lloyd. Maybe drop that in the chat, and maybe somebody is in your area. But this is an excellent bourbon, and it's a double oak product, around 109 and some change proof. So if you could find one of those, and they run around $100 or something like that.
100, 120 probably, a little bit over 100, at
Yeah.
least in this area, and they're rare up here.
Because, I mean, to be honest, aside from like maybe a couple, I can't really think of any bourbons off the top of my head besides like Pappy's or something that really retail for over $200. There's not a ton of them, or it's certainly not over 300. Like you'll run into a few of them, like Doc Swinson's 16-year runs about $350,
right.
Which I would imagine that's probably amazing. Heaven's Door bootleg, stuff like that. Some of those proof and wood products, but those are, I think, even in the 150s. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything that.
I would say instead of spending it on a single bottle, that may be great. Even if I'm gonna guess you're in a decent sized town, you're in Visalia.
Oh, he's probably the closest to Sacramento of
The
everyone
closest?
you've asked that.
Yeah. No, someone else is really close to Sacramento as well. But anyway, I would say go to a couple of nice liquor stores and buy a store pick. It'll be tend to be higher cask strength type bourbon.
Yep.
And just get a couple of really nice store picks as opposed to a single bottle. Because store picks.
I
tend to
agree
be great.
100%. What I would do is, if you want to spend $500 and you've got that in your budget, go out and find even 5 $100 bottles that you've never had before,
Yep.
and then just sit and have like a nice tasting. Because I would put that experience above. I mean, there are certainly truly special bourbons that you want to experience at some point in your life.
Sure.
But I think the $500 price point is not going to get you one of those on the secondary, like a William LaRue or a George T. Stagg or something like that. But I think you could definitely go out and get, 5 bottles that you've never had. Maybe they're, around $100. You don't normally buy those because they're not part of the regular everyday budget, but it's a special occasion.
Sure.
And then you can sit there, then now you've got 5 new bottles. You may love all 5.
Hopefully.
And then you can sit there and really kind of have a tasting of all of them and just have 5 different experiences versus just that one.
Yeah, totally.
So,
assuming you like higher proof. So hopefully, with the list, I'm guessing you've had some stuff that's over 110, 120 proof.
Yep.
And you're okay with that. That would be my recommendation. Is instead of everything in one bottle, go with a couple.
Yep, for sure. That's what I would do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'd go grab. I can think of a couple of $100 bottles right off the bat.
And if anybody knows where that new Maker's Mark is sitting on the shelf, please let me know. I would love to buy a bottle, but I don't think I'll ever see one.
That's honestly probably my unicorn of unicorns right now.
I would.
Yeah,
I'd spend a lot of Ben's money on that if I saw one.
Yeah,
but
I would spend a lot of Ben's money on that if I saw one.
But
OG says try Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Could not agree more. That's outstanding.
OG Brick,
you got to like the higher
You're
proof
so
stuff.
far out of line. That's horrible. You're wrong.
Don't tell anybody it's good.
That's our private secret. We're not going to talk about that in public anymore.
All right. Seen a lot of
It's great, by
Parker's
the way.
Heritage for $500. Woodford Masters Collection, historic entry proof, should be under 150, and it's right in those profiles mentioned. Yeah, I think that one tastes just like Woodford.
So OG says something kind of
That
funny.
should be $40.
So OG Brick makes a reference to buy a Coy Hill at $1,500. Now Coy Hill is a Jack Daniel's special barrel or special bottling. You got lucky enough to buy one in a lottery 2 years ago. 100 and maybe 15, something like that.
$100.
$100. Don't spend a lot more than that. It's great. We think it's one of the best whiskeys we've ever had.
Yeah.
But there are so many other whiskeys that are almost there.
Speaking of best whiskeys we've ever had, Greg Ahrens is here. What's happening, Greg? Says $320 for my Gatsby Reserve was out of line. I thought that one was $200.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that much. That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, I've never had the
He says it's great. He said it was amazing. Did you end up with... Yeah, okay.
Is that $320? Your little emoji thing looks like a llama. Maybe he actually...
320 small farm goats.
Yeah, exactly. 320 llamas.
Greg's apparently bartering for his bourbon. That's how he
Exactly.
gets these good
Well, that's what I
bottles.
was wondering.
He's
No
out
wonder
there
he-
slanging livestock for them. Apparently,
Exactly.
that's
But
the
he
way
wears
to get
the
it done.
best sweaters.
Let's see. Lloyd says, thanks, guys. Love your page. Thank you. I'm definitely more of a high proof guy. I've never tasted anything I like below 90 proof.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Totally get you on that one. But yeah, Lloyd, let us know, because I mean, we live stream every Wednesday, so it's your birthday next month. Let us know what you come up with. But I'd go out and explore some of those $100 bottles. Get yourself 5 of them. Sit and have an awesome night. You're going to have so much fun doing that. The other thing is you can have fun inviting other people to join you and do a tasting.
Totally.
And,
Yeah, have some fun. And they say life begins at 60.
yeah? There you go.
I just made that up.
I've got a ways to go here then.
I don't have as far to go.
Eagle Rare 17. Not worth, not sure about the price. I'm not sure what it is in the secondary, but it's price $1,700.
I got this Kentucky coffee whiskey. I think it's probably an 80 proofer, something like that, maybe 70 or something like that. I got it for free, and it was overpriced. That's all I'm going to say about that.
This is another one that I think would be great in a milkshake. If you like coffee ice cream, like a coffee.
If you can hide the flavor of this,
here's the
with
thing:
other stuff.
if you like an iced coffee in the morning and you just want a little eye opener, pour a little bit of this in there. That'd be fantastic, actually.
So is Eagle Rare 17 the one that comes in the box that like illuminates?
No, that's the double Eagle very
yeah,
rare.
okay, that's like 12,000.
$2,000 for Eagle Rare 17. Okay.
That's ridiculous. Cellar aged.
Maker's Mark, $150 MSRP, 500 secondary. That's maybe the only bottle I would damn near pay the money.
I'd pay
price for.
150 if I saw it, and
yeah.
I never will. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I wouldn't pay 500 for it. I mean, it's 10 and 12-year-old Maker's Mark. I like Maker's Mark a lot, but there's limits to my. The problem is there's so many great whiskeys that I can go buy for $80 right now
Yeah.
at a local liquor store.
Well, and that's just the thing. Like we were saying to Lloyd, and I'm glad he brought that question up because it is kind of food for thought.
Yep.
Or the other thing is, Greg got WLW for $135.
Well, now you're just showing off.
We've gotten lucky once or twice too. Did you get that in a lottery, Greg? Up in Fergus Falls, I think. Is that what that was?
So what's
Like my best bottles I've gotten were in lotteries.
So Greg asked a serious question, and he's the only person I think that may have a opportunity to like answer this.
He asked what?
Which Maker's Mark are we looking for?
Oh, the new cellar aged.
Cellar aged.
The 12-year.
10 and
11,
12.
10, 11, I think it's 11 to 12, whatever it is, yeah. Fargo. Okay, yeah, that's where he got it. I remember you
Sugar
telling me about
Kitty,
that,
you're
Greg.
totally
And
right.
Greg was nice enough to send us a sample of that,
We
and
shared
it was
a lot of nice whiskeys.
yeah. And it was amazing. And so, Lloyd, if you're still in the chat, the other thing I would recommend, if there is one particular thing you really want to try, like that William LaRue Weller, that was amazing. For a special occasion, we said in that review, that whiskey truly is an experience. You're not going to get a bottle for $500, unfortunately. Yeah. But maybe
Go have a pour for
go have
$50,
spend
$75, whatever it is.
$75 and get yourself a pour of it,
Yeah.
and then spend the other $400.
Assuming, I mean, hopefully at a reasonably close drive, you have a nice bourbon kind of restaurant
Yep.
where they have a good selection.
May have a line on that one at MSRP. Well, Greg, you've got my number.
That's right. If they have two, you've got his number again. But I'd certainly buy one.
Yeah, that's really, really my unicorn of unicorns right now. That's
I think
the
so.
one I'm into.
So hopefully we have something else to pour because this coffee one did not work for me.
For those of you that are just joining, we're drinking all this weird crap we had. We're going to get to cleaning our palate out with bourbon.
Yeah, Peerless just became the mouthwash to get rid of the flavor.
We'll use Elijah Craig or this awful Devil's River.
It's a $125 unicorn that people like actually hunt for.
We started with the Corsair Triple Smoke, which is an American single
That
malt.
one wasn't bad.
I really, honestly, I'm kind of bummed now that this is in a can. So before we started, Greg said, it's too bad it's not in a bottle because if you really like it,
Yeah.
or whatever. And I was like, well, it's
Stick a cork in it.
It's only a few bucks. I could just pour this into a sample bottle, actually, and enjoy it later on because I will finish that for sure. Awesome, Greg, thank you. It's yours if I get it. Sweet.
Amazing.
So now we've moved on to we had the Shanky's Whip, which is great,
But it's a little bit like it's a special use bourbon. You're not going to
or whiskey. Yeah, it's not. We're not drinking any of these flavored ones to compare them to actual whiskey.
Well, I am.
We're drinking these like, is this a good dessert? Is this a good
exactly.
mixer? Is it a good whatever? I think the coffee one would actually be good if you want to make like a coffee ice cream, like a milkshake, or like in an actual iced coffee. It'd be good. Because it tastes like coffee.
It's not bad. It's just not my style. And I love coffee, so there's something about it.
Been nursing a 2015 WLW for 7 years that my boss won for. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Sometimes, I mean, I've got bottles I've had open for a couple of years that I know I'll never see them again. So
yeah, so that's the weird thing. People make fun of you and say you got to open it, and if you don't, you got to burn me museum. But you're never going to see some of these bottles again. And so you take your time with it.
Well, I mean, I don't get not opening it ever.
Well, yeah,
because at least I've had all the ones that I've nursed, and I will have them again. Mm-hmm.
I did find a really nice unicorn last year, and then I reached out to people on the channel and was able to find 2 additional bottles. And that was the Maker's Mark BEP. For whatever reason, I love that blend.
Would you consider that unicorn?
For me,
it's rare enough.
For me, it is really, really a special one. So I have 1 opened and then 2 unopened. But
I'm pouring less and less of these flavored whiskeys because I've learned my lesson.
That's right. What's the worst could happen? Well, it turns out there's an answer to that question.
I think the worst that could happen is going to be this Texas whiskey.
Oh, yeah, let's put that at the end. That's a good idea.
Yeah, this is going to taste like...
Revel Stoke.
That's
what she said.
Smorgasm. Promise it's only my fourth pour.
Peter, what? I have 5 BTACs, 4 open, and a Thomas H. Handy backup.
Handy.
That Thomas H. Handy is fantastic. Also from Greg Aarons. Found a few BEPs after that. Nice. Hey, OG, have you opened up that 10 Mocha Stave one yet? I thought you were going to do that a while ago. But then again, he may have. We haven't live streamed in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So
the reason we didn't live stream is because I had to go out to Chantilly last weekend, so I was in your neck of the woods.
Nobody knows where Chantilly is.
Well, he may, but that's all that matters.
Brian says, my sister's out in Colorado this week and went to a liquor store in Denver. They had a ton of BEP on the shelf. Nice.
Wow. I'd buy it.
Still waiting on the Mocha Stave. All right.
2.5.
Let us know. Let us know when you get to it. All right, here's the Revel Stroke Orgasm.
It's Stoke.
Revel Stoke Smorgasm. Okay.
It smells very flavored.
Kind of smells like the Shanky's Whip, and like a less, like a watered down version of that.
I'm starting to get the marshmallow. I think it's going to be marshmallowy.
That's not bad. That would make a pretty good drink, actually.
It's great, but unfortunately, it's way too sweet to drink on its own.
You know what? It's way too sweet to drink on its own, but it is one of those ones where it could be a lot sweeter. I don't feel like this is as in your face as some other flavored whiskeys. It's a little more tame.
I think this one needs some vanilla ice cream, or maybe just an ice cube. But
like that dough ball that we had. Do you remember that one?
That's
that
crazy.
one was like a sledgehammer of cookie dough to your face. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad. This one's good. It tastes really good, and certainly if you have someone who's not really into the burn of a traditional whiskey, they could drink this. But I think it really needs something on the order of ice cream or something to cut the...
Yeah, I think it does too. Let me see if...
What are you doing?
I want to see if... Hey, let me get your opinion on something, you guys. I loaded up some background music into StreamYard.
You put Feeding the Ducks?
That's one of their presets.
Yeah, you say that now.
I made a song called Feeding the Ducks. Jeez, it's taking forever to... So it sounds terrible in our ears because of the
it's
stream.
Two-way. It's going to go up and then down.
Yeah. So let us know. Should we have the background music?
Well, we can't see the chat now. So
I'll get to the chat.
Okay.
The only unicorn bottles that I own that are closed are backups or trade bait, with the exception of some single malt bottles. Okay. If I didn't know better, I think you guys just said janky dip. There you go, Sugar Kitty. You can come up with your own line of flavored whiskeys. The music is very low, not bad. That's kind of what it's meant to be, just like filler, I guess.
Yeah, it's filler.
Okay, nice. I noticed.
Is this the one where are you playing this one, or is this a different track?
The only one that I actually play, is my music, is the intro music.
Okay. Oh, for the main.
The
video.
background music is just some stuff I found.
Okay.
Internet.
Ben's a
OG says,
guitarist in his spare time.
in my spare time. I noticed your video of Haskell's liquor store the other day, and they had plenty of the Maker's private side. Are those the 10 Mocha stave? So the Haskell's I was at in the last video.
We've been waiting.
I don't know. Schlammered's here. What's happening? OG, I don't know. I would have to look at that video again because I didn't look terribly closely at that, but I don't think they were. Because you can kind of tell just by glancing at that label when it's all just the one stave profile. But they may still have some of those. There was a different Haskell's location. Are you talking about the one OG that had all the Elijah Craig barrel proof? You know, did you see that one?
Recent one?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Did I tell you about that?
Huh.
They had, I went to Haskell's down in Minnetonka.
Oh, okay.
And they had Elijah Craig barrel proof, the B523. They had stacks of cases of it.
So I saw a bunch.
And stacks of the toasted barrel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should have told me about that. So I saw a whole bunch of the B523 yesterday at Cashwise. But they didn't have any of the C because I was looking for that one.
That's the one I want to get my hands on. And we tend to get the Elijah Craig barrel proof, so.
Reasonably available around here.
Yeah. It's all good. I was surprised when I got that bottle. It was bottle 2 of 259. Is that what it said? Nice. Was curious if they had stacks of them. Yeah, I don't think that, I can't imagine that was the same one, because actually that 10 Mocha Stave one, that came out like a year and a half or something
More
ago.
than
2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, the first time I bought it was.
And then it was off the shelf, so I think they had some cases in the back that they put back out.
Yeah.
Background music makes it all cinematic scenes, what they are. And sometimes silence speaks louder than words. 50-50 in general, but okay, good.
All right,
I
he
like it.
likes it.
I have not seen the C923 in Minnesota yet.
Not
as evident
yet.
by the fact that we have not reviewed it yet. So that's the one that I'm
that's
definitely.
not proof, because there's plenty of things that I know that that Maker's Mark is available in Minnesota if you're willing to pay $1 million.
Well, available.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard of sightings of it.
Yeah, sightings of it.
Okay, so here's where we get to the real garbage here. The real punishment
Well,
tonight.
don't set our expectations too high.
I feel like I am definitely.
You're selling
Let's
it.
see. The B523 is all over the place. They can't get rid of it. Oh, the B523. Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about the new one, the C923.
Yeah, it's because they got rid of the 12-year age statement. Nobody wants that 11-year, 8-month garbage.
Right. Dave, non-bike riding Dave, picked it up in Indiana yesterday.
But Brian said that he saw
Larceny. Okay, C923 is in Minnesota. Okay,
That's amazing.
Sweet. Good information to have. Okay, so we've made our way through the flavored whiskeys. They're fun to do sometimes. Just
Well,
to
this next one has a flavor too. It's just the flavor, unfortunately, is garbage.
hot garbage and dirty feet or something like that. Just
Damn
nastiness.
dirty.
Nasty.
What flavor is that? Hippie.
That is a new tasting note you heard for the first time here on the Bourbon Note, ladies and gentlemen. It tastes like a hippie. Ugh. Because that's such a versatile tasting note. I can't imagine all the different flavor notes you could get from just one single hippie, let alone multiple. Usually I feel like we were one of the first places to get ECBP and Larceny BP, but it hasn't made it to my area yet. Okay, so it's not out in Washington. I say that jokingly, by the way. I don't actually say Washington. Okay,
Still.
so now that
Patchouli.
sounds like a seafood. Now that we've gotten through the flavored stuff, the real, true garbage. Small batch Texas bourbon whiskey. It doesn't matter the brand. All you have to know is that it's Texas bourbon whiskey. And speaking of Texas, Ron is in the house at the perfect time, just as we're trashing his home state. I never see any of the EJBPs, but we seem to be swimming in makers of varying stave finishes, tiramisu brownie, too many flavors to count.
Wow.
We know what you meant, Ron.
Yep.
All right, Ron, we're drinking Devil's River, which we're drinking this as a palate cleanser to get rid of the taste of all this flavored crap. You said Texas 3 times. That means it's going to show up in the mirror behind
I'm
us.
just waiting for someone to comment on how much you almost hurled after the hippie comment. Mouthful of whiskey.
Texas bourbon whiskey funk. All right, let's get into it. Cheers. It has noses of funk.
Oh, man. The hippie is really starting to kick in.
I got to tell you, it's not as bad as I was expecting. It is serving as a good palate cleanser.
I think it's...
Because all I'm kind of tasting is youthy corn, and I'm not getting as much of the funk. It's interesting that Texas bourbon would taste like a hippie, because I don't think they allow hippies in Texas, do they?
I sure hope not. Well, they have Austin.
I was going to say, they do in Austin, but that's about it.
I've had enough of this.
Ever tried Chinese blah, 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 liquor? No.
No.
I don't even know what that is.
So we recently tried...
Made from sorghum. Okay,
Iceland.
Interesting.
And Indian and...
I think Norway. No,
yeah, I think...
what's the other one? Sweden.
Sweden.
Why couldn't I think of that?
and Canadian.
And we have Hippie Hollow in Austin. Yeah,
And,
Austin's kind of known for that.
Yeah, exactly. And Scotland, obviously. And even we had an Irish one right over there. So, but we've not ever had a... I've not even actually had Japanese whiskey. I don't think.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, this is in a shocking turn of events. This Texas bourbon is not absolute garbage.
It is not the worst bourbon on the table.
But again, it's definitely the worst bourbon on the table.
Oh, it,
may not be the worst
whatever.
whiskey on the table.
I use them interchangeably, and I know it's illegal, but I'm sticking with it.
Not a fan of the few Texas whiskeys I've tried, but I'm looking forward to the Rebecca Creek's, what does that say? Oh, we skipped. Spanish Oak MGP aged in Texas.
Wow.
That would be interesting. That we can truly
Curious.
find out
Yeah.
if Texas, maybe that's what Texas is doing with all their hippies. They're grinding them up and putting in the distillate.
It's a good
And that's
use
why
for
it tastes like a hippie.
So OG
So
is
if it's
making-
MGP aged in Texas, we can settle this debate.
That's right. That could
And
be
see
our
if it
favorite
really
whiskey
truly
ever.
is the Texas debate, or if we've got a Soylent Green sort of situation going on here.
So what is that one that we need to look for? Rebecca Creek, which I've seen, I think.
Okay.
And then OG is making reference to sake, which I've had, and it's good. I spent a little bit of time in the old South Korea a few years ago, a lot of years ago.
I've always said whiskey, quit trying to be vodka. Fermented hippies, yeah,
That's got to be a rock band. If it's not a rock band, they're doing something wrong.
fermented hippies, yeah, that has to be. Somebody trademark that.
Fermented
We don't
hippies.
need it. Go ahead and take it.
That's right.
From
You
well,
can have
OG
it.
Brick may want to throw his stamp on it. So it's not really ours to give away. but-
Yeah.
We forgot to tell you, once you put it in the comments on our live stream, it becomes our intellectual property.
Yeah. When you sign the terms of agreement, that
$50 for the band name Fermented Hippies. How quickly I dip into the capitalism pool there.
That's right. All right, it's time for a real whiskey because the Devil's River, which Laura didn't like the name of it. I don't know why. But,
Okay, now it's starting to come out funky. Now I'm starting to get the... Because now I'm starting to actually taste the real bourbon.
you know, this
like
is
the
like one of
flavored
the
stuff
one
and
of the
kinda
songs on the back side of the cassette from the Fermented Hippies that nobody ever listens to. You just rewind and stick with the first couple of hits.
Hey man, sometimes the B-sides are the best.
Well, sometimes, but not with the Fermented Hippies.
Yeah, not with the Fermented Hippies. Okay, we need to figure out if anybody else in Whiskey Tube... Well, I know... I think Sean plays guitar.
He likes rock music, but
And
I don't know if he plays.
Whoever in Whiskey Tube, maybe we need to start like a Whiskey Tube super group called the Fermented Hippies. And then we'll start like a, we can be online too. We can like somebody lays down a drum track and then sends it, and somebody lays down a guitar track.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think this is something we need to explore. Was that who said Fermented Hippies and the Texas Whiskey Experience? I love it. I absolutely love that.
That is awesome.
Scott Stutzman is in the house. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Scott. Are you new to the chat?
Scott, and more importantly, are you from Sacramento?
I just try to, if there's a name I don't immediately recognize as like
yeah.
one of the ride or die regulars, I always like to welcome new people to
Yeah,
the
totally
chat.
agree.
So welcome, Scott.
Wolf E.
So you're saying it's not bad when following something worse. I mean, it's not bad right
It's
away.
the story of my life, man. Leave it alone.
Okay, let's try these two Peerlesses.
I think let's borrow a little bit of your Elijah Craig. Just to,
Elijah. Okay, we're gonna drink 15 whiskeys tonight on the live stream.
yeah, but they're small pours.
They are. That's true. Let's see. I will play the. All right, sweet. Brian's gonna play the cowbell.
More cowbell.
Does Lauren play an instrument, or does she sing or anything?
I feel like
Bobby can be the rhythm section beating an axe on something.
Oh, I feel like he, with that mustache, he is totally the.
Harmonica?
No, he's the Freddie Mercury. He's the front man.
Okay. I feel like Bobby's mustache is a little different than Freddie's.
Oh, they're totally different. But like, I don't know.
It's like Scotch versus bourbon, different style mustache. I would imagine in the mustache community, you probably just committed heresy comparing two completely different styles of mustache.
I have to admit, I'm not actually in the mustache community.
I'm not either. I've been working on this for 17 years now, and it's as good as it's turning gray before it. Put her on the tambourine. All right, tambourine. Brian's on cowbell. Lauren's on tambourine.
That's right. We got a rhythm section.
What are you gonna play?
I'm not much. I own a guitar, and I am very bad at it.
Yes, I'm here for the first time in a lawn chat. No, I'm from live chat. Sorry. No, I'm from Ohio. I watch a lot of Sean's show. Bourbon internally. Are we talking about the same Sean from Whiskey Wars, or is this a new? Is that? Oh, that might be a new one. Oh, Shredward is here. What's happening, Shred?
We were talking about Northern California earlier, and now he shows up.
What did you crack? Hacker? What? What is that? Well, it sounds like you had a rough day, Shred. I hope you had a good one. We were just talking about how a bunch of us Whiskey Tube degenerates are going to get together and start a band called the Fermented Hippies. And Shredward suggested in the Texas Whiskey Experiment, or Experience.
Sugar Kitty suggested that.
What did I say, Shredward?
Yeah.
Oh.
OG Brick put the name Fermented Hippies. He was the first one.
Yeah, he was the one that did. Yeah, that said. You had some of this already.
Yeah, I'm good.
It said Fermented Hippies.
So, but more importantly, we are drinking really
Bavarian
bad whiskeys.
beer. Okay.
Really bad flavored little sample bottles, and
you liked all of them, and now they're really bad.
Well, they're bad, but they're good. It's like I don't know. Lots of things in life. They're bad, but they're good.
You know what's definitely good is Elijah Craig Small Batch. I got to tell you.
It's always good, but it struggles when trying to overpower a vanilla flavored Irish whiskey.
Okay.
In the
Sean
glass.
from Bourbon Junkies. Okay. I didn't know that he had. So what? He has another channel called what is it? Bourbon Internally. Is that what he said? Now I can't find the comment. Sean is the guy from Echoes in Eternity. There's too many Seans in whiskey too.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who else do we know? Obviously, the Whiskey Wars dude.
Hold on, I got to look up real quick and see if this is because I would like to follow that. I didn't know he had a different channel. Bourbon Internally.
Is that actually a thing? Or was it a typo?
Or maybe it's a. Yeah, you got to tell us what that is. Because now I'm curious. Sean from Echoes in Eternity. Yeah, so there's a few Seans.
I don't know that channel. Echoes in Eternity. What's that?
If the band has anything to do with Texas or hippies, count me out. Shredward is not down.
Yeah, so no, we are, okay, I will speak for myself. I'm anti-hippie. Damn dirty hippies.
Get a haircut and get a real job.
Exactly. Yeah, but we've made a couple references to hippies over the evening. Yeah, what's Echoes in Eternity? Like, I don't have any idea what that is. Is that a band? Is that a philosophical type channel? Or?
Ryan Frank is going to play the double spoons. I love it. So, yeah, but Scott said he's from. It's Sean from Bourbon Junkies.
Ah, but then someone else made reference to this whole Echoes in Eternity. Oh, Echoes in Eternity.
Yeah,
Bourbon.
I watched Echoes in Eternity.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
He's got a good channel.
I'll look it up later.
All right, anyway, let's I feel like the palate is cleansed. This tastes like Elijah Craig now.
Well, I'm going to skip the Peerless Single Barrel because I know that's only mediocre.
I think I am too, because I feel like we've had enough small pours. They're starting to add up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's time for not a small pour.
You're going to have a big pour of the 109 proofer.
And this is why I started bringing my own glass over. That way, if I don't want to finish it, I can walk home with it.
Yes, Ron, that's Swisher Sweets goes exactly with all of these flavored. You know, I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Swisher Sweets wood tips. We smoked those back in the 90s.
The wood tips. I thought it was a little white plastic little.
They have the white plastic ones,
Yeah.
and then they have the wood tip, and the wood tip was like a cherry flavor or something like that. Yeah, they were really good.
So, do Swisher Sweets have more than one flavor, or is it all just that pipe tobacco flavor that?
I think it's all the same tobacco, but they have different flavored tips, I think.
So
Because the tip on the wood tip is definitely like a cherry flavor, like on the tip itself. Like you don't even have to light the cigar to taste it.
I've only had the white plastic, and those are good.
The little tiparillos.
I think that's what they're called.
All right, let's get into some of this. I haven't actually had this. I don't think
White
since.
Owl Peach. Is that the name of a band, or where are we going with this?
That sounds like the name of a hippie.
It is yeah, exactly. You can refer to me as my hippie name.
White Owl.
Owl
I'm
Peach.
White Owl Peach. Let me read you your astrological information.
OG Brick the hippie.
Okay. I have been.
Another hippie name, OG. Not
What?
as good of a hippie name. Flavored cigar.
Flavored cigar. I decided to get into some cigars a bit, and my wife and daughter are, in words of Demi Moore, strenuously opposed.
You know, I actually know that reference. I don't know a lot of movie references, but I strenuously object.
Is that from
A Few Good Men.
Good Men? But here's the question, Ron. Are you holding your ground against your wife and your daughter's wishes?
Well, you got to at least be outside. Hopefully you're not inside the house.
Like, do we need to start a prayer chain for Ron?
No, he's...
Everybody needs to pray for Ron tonight because he is up against some odds.
No, he's...
His wife and his daughter are against him smoking cigars.
So it's still September, and we know the city he lives in. I won't say where you live, just in case you don't want it to be known. But it's described as dog's breath hot.
He's probably just actually getting into outdoor weather now.
I don't even think he could go outside and smoke yet. Maybe at midnight, 2 in the morning or something like that, but...
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Like, we're getting to the end of, enjoying outdoor cigars right now, and Ron's probably getting
we have
to
another month, but he's about to,
to where you can actually tolerate being outside. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, the nose on this is so good. For those of you who waited till the end for the Peerless Double Oak review, we also have an actual review of it on...
If Sugar Kitty is still here, you were 100% correct. We have ruined our palate, and this would be a poor review if we were truly trying to review this.
Right.
It's a nice whiskey, everybody knows that, but I'm not getting a lot out of it after ruining my palate with all these garbage hippies.
I mean, I'm getting a lot out of it, but I don't know if it's accurate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but I tell you what, even inaccurate, it's damn good.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
Stupid hot. It cooled off today, like a high of 90, and that's just outside of Planet Houston.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think today we're literally going to have our last 80-degree day. We've had a very mild summer all year.
We had a couple days there where it got up to like 100.
90 or high
upper 90s, which for us is miserable.
It is.
The seventh circle of hell for us.
We know that people down in Texas and other places have had a rough year.
Yeah.
Much hotter. And so it's been wonderful up here. And OG Brick with another Patooly reference.
Sugar Kitty, smart ass. Really ruined taste buds. I would not have guessed.
Yes.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah, you called it.
But it is still good, and we've had this and reviewed it before. So, it's still a treat.
Yeah, at this point, we're just on borrowed time.
But so we're at
Story of life.
We're at the awesome point of the year in Minnesota where it's like 45 degrees in the morning and then 80 later on in the afternoon.
We're not quite there yet.
But it's pretty close. It was in the probably lower 50s the other day in the morning. Or you have those days where it's in the 40s in the morning, you get a high of 60, and then the next day it's 85 degrees, and then 3 days later it's 40 again. It's just...
What I'm looking for, and some people can't relate to this because they don't see it, I want a day when we're below 32. So we get a freeze, it kills all the bugs, and then it warms back up, and we get into the 70s, and there's no bugs.
I don't think it's going to happen.
At this time of year, it's actually kind of annoying because there's a lot of bugs out on the porch when I'm sitting in the evening.
I haven't had any problems
really?
with mosquitoes this year at all, but the flies have been horrible.
There's been lots of
the
bugs.
The flies have been
recent.
worse than anything this year. It's been terrible.
Yeah, mosquitoes themselves, not too bad.
This is riveting
Cinnamon
live stream
Candles,
content.
not a very good band. Not even a good name for a band, to be honest with you. OG Brick.
This does kind of smell like cinnamon candles.
Yeah, OG Brick plays drums for the Cinnamon Candles.
Jesse Erickson, hello from DL, boys. I'm assuming that's Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, possibly. Welcome, Jesse. It was 43 this morning.
He's got to be.
So do I have to look? So do I have 85 to look forward to tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, Sugar Kitty's out in California somewhere.
No, he's Jersey.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Shredward.
Yeah.
Sugar Kitty, where are you at? What
Jersey.
state? Jersey? Okay. Yeah, I was thinking Shredward for a second there, because I know Shredward's out in California. I'll enjoy my 70-degree sunshine most days this time of the year. Your weather sounds terrible. Laura, you have no idea.
No, normally
the depths.
this summer has been great. We've been in the mid-70s.
It has really been a nice summer.
Not
for
crazy humidity.
yeah, it's been tolerable.
It's been really a nice summer for the most part.
But now we're going to get to the point of the year.
I think we're just
sooner
going to
than
be
later.
crushed with snow.
Yeah, crushed with multiple feet of snow, and then
Who's from Sacramento? OG Brick lives a couple hours away.
he's saying Shredward's from Sacramento.
We'll do the outskirts.
Yeah, okay, thumbs up from Jesse. So he is from Detroit Lakes. I always love it when there's fellow Minnesotans that follow
You
along.
still consider that part of Minnesota?
Absolutely.
Just mess with you.
So yeah, before we know it, I remember like there was one of our casual Fridays we did. We were down in the basement, even though we had the heater out in the garage. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
I think that morning when I went to work, it was like 23 below zero. We're like, yeah, we're definitely filming in the basement tonight. Because we do have a heater in the garage, which on average winter days will cover you. But when it gets down to like 20, 30 below zero, it just nothing can save you.
Which is not super common around here, but it happens.
We tend to usually get like a streak of like the maybe 15 to 20 below, you know? But at that point, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
it's just, yeah, it's... You can't do anything. It's just awful.
Back
Didn't
to
have
the
flame
whiskey.
light. We didn't have the flame light at that point, Ryan. So maybe we'll have to try that this year.
Flame light?
On the thing that he made us for the on
Oh.
the table, that little flickering
Oh, that's right.
light
He's
bulb.
the one that made that amazing backdrop for one of our sets.
No one should live where it gets below zero. I agree with you. I don't know why the hell people ever settled in Minnesota.
I don't know why I moved here. Well, I do know why, but I don't agree with my own decision.
I honestly don't know why you're still here. I don't get it. You must really love doing this channel.
At this point, we're kind of stuck. My wife has a job where she can't leave quite. I could leave. I could work from anywhere,
Yeah.
but she can't. So it'll be a few more years.
Brian says we have about 6 weeks until lake effect snow. Yeah, I would imagine
I
the
hope you
Buffalo
guys get
area is
12 feet of snow a week.
What?
Like it just builds up, and you guys just get crushed.
I was going to say, why would you wish that on someone who suffers the same way we do? Now, they don't suffer. They suffer more with snow because of the lake effect snow. Like, that area just gets pummeled
But
with
then
snow.
it warms up and it
But we have
melts.
the terrible temperatures and the snow to begin with and everything. So I was going to say, why would you wish that upon someone who suffers the way you do? But at the same time, I hope and pray and root against the Buffalo Bills with seething passion. And I should be rooting for them because they suffer the same way the Vikings have. They've lost four Super Bowls. Football.
Football?
Yeah. They've lost 4 Super Bowls. They haven't had the greatest track record. And when they first started getting good, I was rooting for them just for that reason. But Dan is super into the Buffalo Bills to the point that it's made me hate the team.
Oh.
And now I'm just adamantly against any sort of prosperity on their end at all. That's how petty I am, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Happy to do
Shredward
it.
lives in the amazing Benicia. I know he doesn't live in Benicia. I just threw that out there.
What the hell is Benicia?
It's a small town. It's a town kind of outside of the Bay Area.
Sounds like the name of a body part that you and I wouldn't have. Didn't Buffalo lose 5? Well, they may have lost 5. They lost 4 in a row. I know that. Do you want to know something amazing about that?
No.
So, you know how whenever the Super Bowl, like immediately at the end of the game, they come out and they've got the Chiefs won last year. So as soon as the game is over, they come out with the, Kansas City Chiefs 2020 or whatever, Super Bowl, whatever, champions. They already have the merchandise made for both teams.
Oh, both.
So they can don the shirts during the celebration and the hats and whatever.
Everybody knows this.
Yep.
You can go overseas to like countries.
Yeah, so
and see Super Bowl champ losing team.
Yes.
Like and all these like kids.
So
they're giving away for free.
That's what they do. They send those T-shirts over to different countries, to like poor countries. Mm-hmm. So there is somewhere in some country, in some place in Africa,
probably,
there is a place where the Buffalo Bills are the greatest Super Bowl dynasty, perhaps of all time.
That was
for winning 4 Super Bowls in a row.
I don't know if they've done that long ago. In the last few years, they absolutely have.
I know they've done that for a long time, so I'm assuming that it's been going on for quite a while. So, yeah, somewhere in the world, there are people who believe that they're like, man, they did it 4 years in a row? That's unheard of. Now, it's not the most Super Bowls ever won by a team. Most in a row. So, cheers, Buffalo Bills. In a fantasy land, you're the greatest Super Bowl team ever.
In Botswana, you guys are heroes.
Yes, exactly. Brian says no, they lost 4. Hey, Brian, are you a big Bills fan? I would like to know because I just want to know if I need to unsubscribe to your channel. No, I'm just kidding.
And I don't care either way because I'm just not a big sport fan.
I don't follow sports besides the Vikings. Like the Vikings are my sports.
What are the Vikings?
They're the lacrosse team, the local lacrosse team.
What are they doing?
I would like things to be going differently at this point in the season, but I am optimistic.
So unfortunately, I live in a household where I can't totally escape sport.
Brian, you are absolutely correct.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, the Vikings are my sports. Like not guilty pleasure, but my I just don't follow a ton of other sports besides the NFL and the Vikings in particular. Okay. You know. All right. Do we need to add anything more to this live stream, or should we wrap this up? We're on sports now.
Yeah, that's we really need to pull it back into either whiskey or junk food. We have limits. We've talked about hippies. I hate hippies. We've talked about sports. I hate sport.
You just hate hippies in general?
Oh, just absolutely. Damn dirty hippies.
Damn dirty hippies. Well, we just lost our hippie audience. That's right. It just went from 30 to 24. 6 hippies just...
We also lost the math audience.
Yeah, that's true. Vikings will make a fella drink, win or lose. I totally agree, Jesse. That's exactly... See, now we're getting Minnesota folks schlammered. Every time the Vikings turn over the ball this season, I take a drink of whiskey. I'm hammered by halftime. Yeah, you're going to end up... Honestly, schlammered, and normally I don't take things too seriously on here, but if you're being serious about that, I'm worried about your health, and I think you should talk to someone.
I recommend you try one of these flavored Irish whiskeys with very little actual alcohol in it.
Yeah. I'm worried about your liver, schlammered, if you're going to do that every time they turn the ball over.
Sean from Georgia.
Sean from Georgia. So not Bourbon Junkies.
And not Whiskey Wars.
And not Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. And so what was it that I searched? Because sometimes you can search the name of a channel. So Bourbon Internally? Is that what it is, Scott? Maybe I screwed that up. Before we hop off of here, let me know.
Yeah, let's...
Because anytime there's a new channel to check out, I'm always happy to do that. That's how we've made so many cool friends on WhiskeyTube, which is great. Mm-hmm. Internety. Okay, let me see that.
Eternity?
Unless his autocorrect is just killing him right now. You ever had that when you're trying to send somebody something, you're like, the autocorrects the autocorrect 4 times in a row?
Yep. And you're in a hurry and you're not paying attention. Yeah, hey, Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans is a guy named Steven. He knows a little bit about the old whiskey and a lot of like single malt stuff, and he tends to go live after us. He's in the Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, God, okay, I found it. I'll check out this channel for sure. For the love of God, people, make your Whiskey Tube channel names simple. Makes it so much easier for you to find. What was the channel that I could never find? I would, for the longest time, I couldn't find Independent Joe because the way he spells the name of his channel
with no vowels.
was
But there
no
are
vowels.
some vowels, even though he says no vowels.
But in the word independent, there's no vowels.
But the letter I, which it starts with, obviously
Oh, yeah, that's
is a
true.
vowel.
Aside from that one. But for the longest time, I
And
couldn't find it
speaking
because
of-
it wouldn't show up if... What?
Oh, there's Mr. Great.
Oh, Mr. Great Shot is here. What's happening?
Mark's here.
I just got my sample bottles from Amazon, so I'll be sending y'all some samples of Still Austin. Well, you better get on it because Bobby's sending some samples from Still Austin too. And actually, this is really exciting because I think Mark has samples like Nancy the Nose specific samples,
I seriously want.
which I would definitely be interested in checking those out. So that would be awesome. Did you know that Still Austin is now available in Minnesota?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I saw
Minnesota has recently just had an influx of whiskeys that are now available here
That's awesome.
that previously weren't. So that's kind of fun.
Kentucky coffee. was
Aiden's
like-
back.
He is. He's been healed miraculously.
He probably went and had a bourbon, like you
He
said.
had a bourbon, yeah. Feeling better. I was less than impressed. I think it would be fine with like a vanilla ice cream or something, but by itself, it's meh.
I think it would. I was saying I think it'd be cool to make like a coffee flavored milkshake or just like an iced coffee.
Sure.
And throw some of that in there would be excellent. Sugar Case says worst channel to find before Whiskey Uncensored, before it became Whiskey Uncensored, was Bourbon because it would get confused with bourbon. Yeah, so there's some
Really?
like so Independent Joe. If you type out Independent spelled correctly and Joe, it doesn't show up. At least it wouldn't in mine.
Well, that's inconvenient.
And then, excuse me, there's 21090 as well. So I didn't know exactly how they spelt their
right.
stuff. So that
It's
was kind of
number,
hard to
letters,
find.
number, yeah.
Oh, he says, yep, I've got quite a few Nancy picks for y'all to try. That would be awesome. And I'm excited to get to try this because now that it's available, I might have gone out and bought a bottle just to finally
I would totally buy one.
see what all the hype is about. But now that we've got some samples coming,
I'd still buy one.
because, we're not exactly confident in Texas whiskey.
I would say, if anybody doesn't know who Nancy Fraley is, I'm going to make a reference. She's
Mm-hmm.
like the most into the bourbon world that I've personally had the opportunity to speak with
Sure, yep.
since this channel started.
Yeah.
Like she's a like independent contractor, I think. I don't.
That's kind of what I gather because now she's back doing the Joseph Magnus cigar
working with
blend
Joseph
stuff.
Magnus, but then she also works with Still Austin, and she works with some other MGP supplied stuff. And she's the nose, that's her nickname, but she's the one that puts together the blends that really is the expert.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, hold on. Now Scott says, my phone is autocorrecting and it's echoes in eternity. Sorry, phone has a mind of its own. But wait a minute.
So you just followed some hippie channel that you have no idea what it is, and that's not who.
Okay, so I typed in bourbon internity, which is what I saw before, and it actually brought up echoes in eternity bourbon. And I didn't even notice that. I just saw that it came up. So yeah, I'm already subscribed to him. And he's got a great channel. So yeah, that was all confusing.
Hey,
I think
Major Zero.
Major
is
Zero.
here.
Speaking of people who have channels, go check out Major Zero's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's searching for some. So Major Zero.
Aiden, enjoy your double ear infection.
Oh yeah, Aiden, have a good night. Hope you get better. So check this out. I'm going to search for Major Zero. Like if you just say, "Hey, check out this channel called Major Zero," MAJORZERO, and see if it comes up.
Probably not.
It does not come up. So Major Zero, you might have a major problem on your hands.
Well, it's pretty obvious he spells his name with an X.
Right, but if you just hear about it and don't actually see it, like say we're talking about it and say, hey, go check out Major Zero, you got to specify. Even if I type in Major XERO.
You got to put at MAGA. Yeah, don't put a space.
Okay, I'm going to make this all one word.
Well, that works.
Then it shows up. Okay.
Yeah.
So before you hopped on here, I don't know, Major Zero, if you were watching, we were talking about bourbon channels that are hard to find because of how they're spelled. And so we had a whole off-the-rails conversation about that. And there's still people watching this, which I just can't even believe.
Appreciate it. I'm actually going to move over to the single barrel. Partly because I need to kill this bottle, and it's 60% still here.
Why do you need to kill that bottle?
Well, it's good, but it's not that good.
So the bottles that I have that aren't that good are the ones that I'm not killing, and they've been sitting there for 3 years.
Well, there's that. Eventually, this will be one of those. It'll move to the... seriously, it's time to take a serious swing at that and start making old fashions with it. And
This?
yeah, eventually.
Really?
Eventually. It's
114 proof. That might make a good old fashioned. I don't remember this being bad.
No.
I just thought it was weird.
It's a little single, like a one note. It's kind of harsh and it's not very interesting. For 125, 130 bucks. This is maybe the only bottle I've ever bought directly. Well, my wife.
Wait, this costs 100.
Something like that. It was over $100. My wife was in Louisville for a volleyball
Lloyd, if
tournament.
you're still in here, don't include this in your $100
Yeah, exactly. Don't
bourbon
yeah.
flight.
But my wife was in Louisville for a volleyball tournament, walked to a place for breakfast, and then walked straight past Peerless Distillery, and they were one of the few people open on Monday. So she went in and talked to them and bought a single barrel and was really happy about it.
Now, our palate is just blown out
Yeah,
at this
absolutely.
point.
I wouldn't
had
trust-
so many different whiskeys.
I would not trust our opinion on this whiskey at this time.
Now, again, they have been small pours, so we're not sitting here hammered, but
No, I still hate hippies, and I've always have, and I always will.
this one, I'm not getting that malty vibe off of it. But again, the palate's blown out.
Yeah,
This isn't
you
going to be an
can't-
accurate tasting. It tastes pretty good. Doesn't taste $120 good, but it doesn't taste bad that I would want to put it in cocktails.
Yeah, it's not Devil's River or anything, that's
Yeah.
for sure. Oh, I just thought of a new game for the... Let's see how many bottles of whiskey we can stack, but not tonight. I'm busy.
Hell yes, we're doing tonight, but this one's got to be on top because that's got the... Well,
That's what she said.
the answer is 2. You can stack 2 bottles up, and that's it.
Oh, come on. There's somebody... All right, Brian, I know you're still here. If you're not able to stack more than 2 bottles on your channel, you lose.
Laura is struggling
Laura?
with what she should pour. I would recommend something from Jack Daniels.
Yeah, we know.
I think you'll be happy with
Yeah,
it.
Jack Daniels. Let's go. Gentleman Jack.
Yeah, I would be shocked if she has that.
It's decent.
I mean, it's decent for an 80 proofer.
84, 86.
I think it's 80. I was actually just watching the Bourbon Junkies before we went live, and they were talking about bourbons that got them into whiskey, and so they were talking about Gentleman Jack, and they said 80. That's the only reason I know that, because I would have said the same thing. I thought it was like 86.
Yeah.
So I was actually surprised when they said that. The Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye, not the one that
The crazy good
the
one.
awesome one that Laura and Troy
I've never
sent.
seen the Bonded Rye.
But it's just like the normal, yeah. So it's new. So I think it's just maybe hasn't hit the market here
extra
yet.
mellowed.
Extra mellowed, yes.
Damn dirty hippies.
Major Zero says Jack Daniels. Laura, I think we all kind of know your flavor profile that you like.
You know, I kind of agree. Like if when in doubt, go with Jack Daniels. I kind of agree. I don't do that often enough, I don't think. I'm still in the process of getting rid of bourbons that are only mediocre. Mm-hmm. And so my shelf is kind of filled with really good bourbons and really crappy bourbons.
Oh, here's an interesting question. And everybody in the chat participate in this. Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
I mean, I'll go first,
Okay.
only because I'm on camera. Like, there was this one time I got to meet Ben Walker from the Bourbon Note, and oh my God, he smelled just like a hippie.
Is this you getting back at me for all the times that I reference you being a celebrity and
Just messing
internet
with you.
sensation? Actually, it was funny because my wife and I were out for a drink the other night, and we were talking about, I can't remember what led us to talking about like celebrities and being canceled or whatever, and both of us were saying like being famous sounds like the absolute
Oh my
worst
God, the
life
worst.
in the world. Because we're just both the type of people that would never want something like that. And I was like, I don't know how Greg handles it. It's
So a couple of years ago, and
So who is the most famous person you've met? OG Brick met Zach Wilde. That's awesome.
Wow, that's interesting. So a couple of years ago, I've never been. I realize that even if Lauren was here from the Bourbon School, she would make fun of me for this, but I don't think she's actually here. But I went to a Comic-Con, kind of like wannabe Comic-Con, like 8 years ago, quite a while ago, in Minneapolis at the convention center. And there were a lot of people, but not a huge number of people. Bruce Campbell.
Nice. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Lance Restmeyer, that's a new name in the chat. Met Bud Grant. That's awesome. I actually have a pocket knife that used to belong to Bud Grant.
That's interesting.
He was a legendary coach.
I've heard of him. So anyway, I went to this Comic-Con thing, and in addition to a whole bunch of comic book type stuff, which I'm not actually that interested in comic book stuff and like sci-fi stuff, but there was a group of celebrities who you could sign up and pay way too much money to like talk to.
Sure.
And they had little tables, and my wife and I were there, and there were not that many people. Like we stood in line. And
Were you there to see a specific person,
like,
or
we went to like go, but then it turned out it was like a total like, sad trombone. So 45 minutes later, we're like done. But anyway, there was like 8 tables or maybe more of like celebrities.
Okay.
And
yeah, I've been to one of those. I took my daughter and her friend. to one
so
of
there
those.
was the guy, and I don't remember his actual like real name. And he was in can't even remember the name of the movie or the book that it was based on.
Sharknado.
No, it was it's a sci-fi movie.
Shred where it says I met Clint Eastwood, Bill Murray, and Al Gore. That's pretty awesome.
That's awesome. So anyway,
But not all at the same time. That would have been an interesting party.
yeah, that would have been an interesting party. So anyway,
It's like you're partying with Clint Eastwood and Bill Murray and Al Gore's just bumming everybody out.
So anyway, I met this guy who was in a sci-fi movie, like on Amazon Prime picked up the movie, The Expanse.
Okay.
So it's a sci-fi movie about a spaceship that kind of travels around and so on. One of the guys in there, the guy who's the pilot, and I forget his name.
This better be you forget the guy's name. This
No.
is the most famous person you've ever met.
No, so anyway, it was like, it's a famous guy who I met, and he's just sitting there at a table like this, right?
Yeah.
0 people around. My wife and I are like 20 feet away. And we're like, dude, like we watch his show, right? And there's nobody like paying money to see him. And I just kind of like wave to him and like whatever. And he's just like sitting there. Like it was the most buzzkill kind of like sad trombone moment. Anyway, I'm walking around at the end of it.
Yeah.
And Counselor Deanna Troi from Star Trek walks literally like right in front of me. To like,
I don't know who that is.
what's her name? Help me out here. Counselor Deanna Troi. Forget her real name. Anyway,
I don't know the
it's
character.
a Star Trek person, and I can't remember her real name. Besides that, I've not met a lot of like really famous people. I used to work for a guy who owned a company, a private company, and he's a billionaire, and he's probably the most like famous, wealthy person I know. He lives in Minnesota.
Ryan Frank met Kirby Puckett in his own bathroom.
Oh, man.
Not Ryan Frank's bathroom, Kirby Puckett's bathroom.
Kirby Puckett has some weird stories. Well, I was a baseball fan as a kid. Kirby Puckett has some weird stories, and they all involve bathrooms, honestly. Like there's a famous like steakhouse in Minnesota.
Nah, it's Redstone. Yeah, I know there was some.
There's a story, and I don't want to go there, but
accusations.
I don't know if it's right or wrong or what, but whatever. Kirby Puckett has I don't know. There's some stories.
So this name of this dude you can't remember.
Oh, I know the dude. I won't say his name.
No, I'm talking about your most famous people that you.
I'm not going to say the guy's name just because he's really. I don't want to say his name.
He's what? A famous guy you met?
No, I used to work for him. There's a company in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. I'm sorry.
He's
I was
a
reading the
billionaire.
chat. Oh, okay. You said something about billionaire. Okay. But like, what about like people like actors or people in bands or? I don't know. I would say I guess the most famous. That's the chick from Star Trek. Okay.
Yep. So anyway, I literally like said hi to her as I walked by.
Okay.
But honestly, besides that, I've never actually met anyone famous as a musician or a band member or whatever. Like, I don't know of anybody.
I've met a
famous
whole
like that.
bunch of bands. Sugar Kitty says, I've met a ton of Flyers, but in some places that doesn't make me friends. Are you talking about the Philadelphia Flyers since you're in New Jersey?
Well, leave it alone.
So I would guess I'd say the absolute most famous person I've met is Bill Clinton.
Really?
Yeah, I met him actually while he was president, so I did
Oh,
get
wow.
to meet a sitting president one. That was pretty cool. I was like 15.
He was sitting?
Yeah, he was sitting down. All the other presidents I've met, they were standing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clinton was sitting down.
Dave, seriously? I would love to meet him. But
The pillow guy, the My Pillow guy?
I just...
F that. I don't want to meet that dude. He seems a little weird.
He's a little out there, but that's right. Marina, yeah.
Okay.
I expect a Sugar Kitty to get that one. If I'm
Randall
honest.
McDaniel, hell yeah.
Who's that? I have no idea. Who that is.
Legendary Minnesota Vikings player.
Oh.
So other than that, like as far as like famous, I've met like Korn, Pantera. I used to have guitar picks signed by Dimebag Darrell. I used to have this like I had a cardboard printout, like a promotional thing of the live 101 proof Pantera album, and I had that signed by all the original Pantera members. 2 of them are dead now, so that's pretty, probably awesome. I met
Hammett?
Jason Newsted from Metallica once. Kirk Hammett from Metallica came through my line when I was a cashier. I was majorly disappointed. Come on, bro, drink whiskey. He probably does. He was maybe just like recovering.
No, like, I think that's the funny thing, is like, what happens to like serious rockers in their 50s, right?
They probably do the same thing everybody else does, and it's like,
they
well, hey,
do.
maybe we shouldn't booze
They go
all
out,
the time and
they buy a Starbucks latte,
yeah.
right? They do their show, then they go back to the hotel. They live a boring life where they don't want the whole celebrity thing anymore, and they're totally boring. And,
Or the
which
thing
I
is
totally
too is
respect.
like do
that's what I would do.
I sure as hell don't want to party the way I used to party in my 20s.
No.
Now, hell no.
Yeah, and
not even
in the
close.
modern world with everyone with a cell phone and a camera, like
Oh, yeah,
get accused-
absolutely.
yeah. So like if you're like Metallica today, like
Yeah. I met Penn and Teller out in Las Vegas a couple years ago, and then Kevin Smith happened to be at the shows. Met him, so that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Big fan of his. Hit that like. Thanks, Major Zero.
Hey.
All right. Anybody else have any famous people they've met to drop into the chat? I mean, I've met Bobby through live streaming together with him.
yeah, that doesn't count. Yeah, rest in peace to a whole bunch of hard rockers that died too soon.
Well, Dimebag didn't even like drink or drug himself to death. He was murdered on stage.
Was that how that? I
Yeah.
don't even remember that one.
Yeah, that was a rough one. But yeah, that was cool. So while we're letting people throw in their last final chats here, I met Korn a few different times. And so a couple times were just like they were doing a show in town. We ran into them. Oh, I met Warren Haynes as well a few years ago. Well, it was probably 10 years ago now.
From Allman
He was
Brothers.
a nice dude. Short.
So,
So I met Korn in passing a couple times, like
so my
outside their
uncle
concerts.
was really good friends and used to talk about meeting Greg Allman all the time.
Yeah.
And it stuck in my brain only because his name's Greg. But anyway.
And then, so one time Korn was doing an autograph signing down at a place down in Golden Valley. And so I went down there, and I had, like a couple weeks before that, I found a rocking chair on the side of the road for free, like a cloth, rocking chair. Yeah. And I took it because back then, I was young. Back then I took it to just put in the garage. And so I thought it'd be fun to get my rocking chair signed by Korn. So I just brought the cushion. It was like an old 70s rocking chair with the detachable cushion, the big cushion. And so I brought that down and got that signed by, except for Jonathan Davis. I've met everyone from Korn multiple times and never Jonathan Davis. So I'm convinced he actually doesn't exist.
I too have never met Michael Jackson by accident, but didn't seek him out. He was...
My grandma dated Darren McGavin in college. He was the father in Christmas Story. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was pretty freaking cool. Shredward, never mind. I'm not even going to say it.
Dr. Robert.
Dr. Robert is in the house. Michael Jackson, by accident, didn't seek him out. It was in his Way at his limo and hotel and exit, his bodyguard slammed me against the wall to make room. 1987, total jerk. Nice. Hey, Dr. Robert, by the way, we got your samples. I did open them up. I
Thank you so
appreciated
much.
the scissors. He sent the scissors with to help.
But they're inside the box.
But they're inside the box. That
Yeah.
was the funny part. So I thought that was hilarious, Dr. Robert. So thank you for that. Yeah, we're going to get to those samples here pretty soon. And they're all, except for the Blantons, they're all stuff that we haven't had before.
Nice. I actually don't know what was in there because Ben did that. So
Actually, when I met Korn, he says Jonathan Davis is too Hollywood. This is what they were playing First Ave in Minneapolis. And even if you're not from Minneapolis, most people know like the legendary First Ave.
I've actually been there, which is one of the few like places of like real pop culture or whatever you would call it that I know of.
Yeah, I saw
It
tons
sucked,
of,
and
tons
all
of
the
band
people
there.
are damn dirty hippies. But
Shredward doesn't have feelings.
sure, Edward has.
No, I was
feelings.
just going to make a comment about your grandma hooking up with the dude from Christmas Story. You still have
Jimmy
the rocking
Stewart?
chair? No, I don't. I don't know whatever happened to that. Eventually, the autographs all wore off of it. But
Yeah.
all right, well, this has gone on long enough. It's 7:30. I think we probably.
I think it's time to go take care of the dogs.
I didn't eat a ton of food before getting on here, so I need to go grab a late dinner and all that stuff. So anyway, for those of you that stuck around for this long, thank you very much.
Yeah, this
And,
is fun. This is
Thanks
why
for
we
checking
kinda
out the
hang
live stream. If you're not subscribed to us, please do so and go check out all the other channels. Baker Drinks was here tonight. Bad Axe Bourbon was here tonight. Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, Bourbon School.
We got a great shot.
Yep. Well, he doesn't have a whiskey tube.
Well, he
I don't know if
kinda
you can
joins in
subscribe to
other
him or not,
channels,
but
yeah.
anybody who's
Chris
got a
is
channel,
here.
yeah.
Dr. Robert.
Let's see.
Arju Slammered.
Dr. Robert says, you had so much trouble with the bubble wrap on the Legion box that my wife threw in the scissors. I know, and that's
hilarious.
why I thought it was funny you did,
That's
because I remember
hilarious.
specifically on that one, like struggling to get each individual bottle open. So yes, that was funny. I love
Awesome.
it. All right. Well, everybody have a great night.
Tipsy Whiskey is actually live right now. So,
Oh, that's the other thing. We've probably stepped on his live stream
Yeah, it's
here.
okay.
So.
He likes it.
All right. Well, folks, Greg, send us out.
All right, till next time. See you next time.